just unmuted myself or muted myself and then unmuted myself. Anyway, we'll press the fucking record button. Welcome to the Talking Average Fitness Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. As always, my name is Sam. I'm joined by my both bearded and hat-clad compatriot, Mr. Kevin McCarthy. Kevin, how are you today, sir?
It's fucking frigid in this gym, man. It's cold.
Yeah,
I
New
have,
England.
yeah, dude, you're right, New England. I woke up this morning. There's some hail, sleet, something that's not fully liquid rain coming out of the sky.
Yup.
And you can hear it rattling and all the metal stuff. I'm like, what a joy.
Yep.
And so just wait to have my little, this is a little cheat. I have no idea where this came from, but I'm not gonna argue it. It's this little space heater.
Oh yeah.
Bam. That's you turn it on, it takes a little bit, but the office isn't very big, so it starts to get warmed up. But then the worst part is you get used to the warm, and then you go back out into the 9,000 square foot space with 40-foot ceilings, and you're like, it's frigid out here.
Yeah.
So yeah, fun times.
Mm-hmm.
Life in a CrossFit gym, as most people there probably know.
So it's a funny story. So snow on the ground, snow on the ground this morning in Portland, Maine.
Oh, that's
And
fun.
I, with a morning high of 33 degrees.
Woo.
And so I head into the affiliate. And I'm going to coach the 8:30 a.m. class. And the workout is 4 rounds for time, accumulate a 1-minute plank, and then 400-meter run.
400-meter run.
Exactly. Yep. And so I'm like, well, that's great workout, but no, because 33 degrees and snow. Yeah. And I don't need people trying to figure out turnarounds on the street when there's suboptimal traction, and I want you to go as fast as humanly possible. So I'm going to swap for a row, right? 500, 400-meter row.
Yeah, gross.
The amount of pushback I got from people who were psyched.
They're like, no, I'm going to run in the snow.
Yeah, and I had to there was a contingent. I start the class. There's 3 people kind of standing off to the side. And they're talking amongst themselves. And I'm like, all right, let's hear it. Let me have it.
Give me all the smoke. Let's have it.
Let's go. And they're like, well, blah, 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 blah. And I said right off the bat, why? Why would I not want you to run? And one of them was like, safety. Yes, it's exactly that.
That stupid thing, safety.
I know. Turns out job role number 1 as a trainer is to keep you safe.
Well, so I I've had that because we have some people here that are very avid runners.
Yeah.
And we'll have some things where it gets real cold. Mm-hmm. And even so last year in the winter, it didn't snow in Massachusetts very much, but there were that span of days, 4 days where it was negative 17 degrees is the high. Yeah. And it's windy. And so we had a running workout one of those
days.
Wind
chill of minus 25.
Yeah, literally. And so we had a running day on one of those days, or a day where the workout, it wasn't written as running. Max doesn't put running usually during the winter as much, unless he knows if he looks at the weather, it's oh, there's gonna be a 40-degree day. He'll be like, let's run.
Right.
But so there was a workout that involved an erg. It was probably a row.
Yep.
And someone after the whiteboard brief is just hey, can I run? And I was like, are you high? What? No. Why?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, I'd like to run. And I was like, it is negative 27,000 degrees outside. I don't know what you think you're going to achieve by running this one day. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, so, okay, we'll finish your story and then I'll bow that.
Well, no, so it just got to a thing where if it's snowing or if it's kind of shitty weather or it's really cold and someone's like, I really want to run, I'll be like, listen, if you want to be stupid, sick, but I'm not going to open the bay door for you to let what little heat we have in here out. You can either go out the front door and sort it out, or there's a little side door that has a weird latch, and you can fight with the side door and sort it out. I will. If you want to go be
every gym's got that wonky door.
Yeah, it's where it's just it either doesn't open, it does open, it doesn't latch. It does, every gym has a wonky door somewhere, where that be a door to a bathroom or whatever it is. Every gym has a wonky door, and I'm like, listen, if you want to go fight the wonky door because it's 20 less feet of running than the front door, be my guest. Go knock yourself out. Put an extra sweatshirt on. Wow. So I had someone that literally went outside, ran in a like a ski jacket and gloves. They came inside, took the ski jacket and gloves off, did their deadlifts, put the ski jacket and gloves back on, went back. I'm like, what is happening? What are we doing? Why?
It's like every once in a while, like if I get people who they want to go do that, like you want to be crazy, like it's like let's say today was programmed as rowing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if it's programmed as rowing and you're like, I really want to run. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, like hopefully as a coach, you know this about your athlete, how good of a rower are you, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
The lengths to which people will go to avoid doing things that they are not confident or good at is absurd. And so for today was one of those days where it's like, we're going to row. We're going to row 4 hard 500-meter intervals. And if you know what I'm talking about, that's a miserable workout, right?
I hate every bit of it.
Oh, it was great. So, and coupled with a plank, like it's just like a better stimulus, I think, than the running one was. So there was nothing that was going to be gained from an intensity standpoint.
Yeah, from running.
From letting these people go run.
Right.
Because you can't go faster. You would physically just slide when you tried to hit the turnaround, right?
Yeah, you would have to run slower to not die.
You would have to run slower. You'd have to compromise intensity. And so I don't want that. I want you to, and like I had questions from people who were like, I don't know what my pace should be. What should this feel like? And I'm like, it should feel like death. Yes.
Yeah, reckless.
I had one guy who opted for an echo bike. And I was like, cool, homie.
Fucking love it.
30 cals every time. And to his credit, he went after it. Like 70, 75 RPM every interval. And the last time he set it down, I looked at him and I was fired up. I was like, reckless abandon, Eric. Let's go.
Yeah. just jazz.
Lit.
Whenever one of my athletes chooses an echo bike, there was one of my athletes in the evening who he enjoys the echo bike. I don't know why, or I don't know why he enjoys it as much as he does.
Yeah.
And the workout was supposed to be like rowing and wall balls.
Yes.
And I forget the rep scheme and how it was supposed to go, but he basically wanted to sub in. He's like, "Can I echo bike instead of row?" And his wife looks at him and goes, "That's fucking stupid." And I was like, "I fucking love it. Let's do it. Like, pull over the assault, pull out the echo bike. Let's get some." And he's like, "What am I doing?" I was like, "You're gonna do this many calories per round." Yep. He was like, "That seems aggressive." I was like, "Yeah, it is. It's gonna be awesome. Let's go." It's like just so excited to watch the moment where he realizes he's made a mistake.
Yes.
And he's like, "Yeah, like what should I do for like a pace on the echo bike?" I was like, if you can like keep it like above 350 watts for this first round, like that'd be great. Like do that for the first round, then kind of like just go from there.
Yeah.
He's like, perfect. And so he's
no clue like what 350 watts means.
No, not at all. You just know. I'm just like, watts are going to show up here, and you're going to try and keep it above 350 for this first round, and then go from there.
Do you know what the RPM conversion for that is?
Like, no, I don't look at RPMs. I always look at watts.
See, I only ever look at RPM.
I don't know. I can. After this podcast, I'll go test it out and I'll tell you. But I said, like, try and keep it above 350, which is like, if you're holding 350 watts, like you'll finish 20 calories in like right around a minute, like somewhere like a minute to a minute 5.
20 calories?
Yeah.
So it's like 65 or 70 watts or 65 or 70 RPM.
Okay. Yep. And so he starts going and I'm watching. And you get to a point where like you see the pace start to drop off. See the eyes start to bug out just a bit as he goes, "Oh no." And I've told them like their goal for the workout was like unbroken sets of wall balls. And he like gets off the bike and has that like moment as he looks at me and I'm like, "Let's get some wall balls, let's go." I was so happy. Oh, anytime any of my members are like, "I'm going to make a dumb choice," I'm like, "Yes, let's go. I support it. I'm here to support you in your pursuits. Let's get some."
Well, ironically enough, none of this is what we were supposed to talk about. No, we have some other asinine shit to talk about. So it was made public to affiliate owners shortly before it was made public
to the
to
public.
the general public, made
Yep.
public, period.
Yep.
That they are restructuring
Mm-hmm.
how the Open is going to happen this year, and not just the Open, but specifically quarterfinals
Mm-hmm.
and semifinals and the path through them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, couple big things. First of all, we have the dates for the Open.
Yep.
Let me pull those up real quick.
It was like February 29th.
Yeah, I have it starred here. Here we go. Right. So the
February 20 something.
Open registration begins January 9th, and the Open will start. It'll be 3 weeks again.
Mm-hmm.
So the start's
Mm-hmm.
29th, and it will finish March 18th, which like the final Thursday or Friday is the 14th, and so the 18th is Monday when it's due.
Yeah,
right?
the Monday where it's like final scores due. Yep.
Yeah. The adaptive athletes will have their own separate
Open.
separate Open run by
Will
Wad. And Will Wad's going to do everything. So they won't register for the CrossFit Open. They will
Right.
register for the adaptive
for the Will
Open.
Wad Open. Yep.
Exactly. By Will Wad. And then key takeaway number 2, the top 25% of athletes and teams from the Open qualify for quarterfinals. This.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think, because I was just like talking about the quarterfinals thing. I mean, there's so many things to talk about in this, but I don't think that's a change for teams. I think they were taking the top 25% of teams. However, there are like so far fewer of teams that it kind of like 25% made sense, because I think when we were going to try and put a team for CrossFit Boston in for quarterfinals, it was like the top 25%, and we were like, oh, top 25%, fucking easy. And then you looked at how many actual teams were registered for the Open, because you have to declare your team beforehand. It's not just like, oh, hey, look, we did a thing. You have to like declare a team for your affiliate beforehand, and like have your athletes, like your 2 men, 2 women, and then 1 like sub for each.
Yep.
Like registered and declared before the Open starts. So that you can, or at least it was like before the close of the first week of the Open, so you can like get your scores in and whatnot. And so I think it's always been 25%. But then when we looked at the actual number of teams registered, we were like, oh, this isn't going to be as easy as we thought.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the rule book right now. In fact, I've got it pulled open. Hey, you know what we can do? We can
present.
So we're going to do this and present a screen and a tab. Here's the rule
Present
book.
this one.
Present the rule book. Okay, so
there we go.
So we've got our rule book here, and I'm going to make it big so that we can. Oh, I don't want to present this one. I want to share this tab instead. Make it real big. Quarterfinals, individuals and teams. Right. Based on Open rank, no less than the top 10% in each region of individual men and women are eligible. The top 25% of total teams per region, no fewer than 50 teams from each region will be eligible to participate in quarterfinals. So teams are the same, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. The problem is now we've got a 2.5 fold increase in humans.
Pool. Yeah. I was talking with our other full-time coach, Jack, about this because he saw it, and he was like, oh, what do you think? And I was like, fucking bullshit.
Okay, so why? Tell me why.
I'm going to tell you exactly why.
That's why I'm here.
This is why I'm here today. So I said there, I was like, I think that this move is an overall bad move for the sport for multiple reasons. Number one, the only reason they've increased the pool to pull for quarterfinals is because CrossFit is owned by a private equity firm and they want to make their money. If last year, I'm just going to like throw round numbers. I think it was around this, but it was like if 5,000 people last year was like the qualifying cutoff, and I'm just making round numbers just to make for easy math. If it's 5,000 people that qualified for quarterfinals, like that's the top 10%. Of those 5,000 athletes, maybe half of them actually register for quarterfinals because they either think like, I'm going to do well in this workout, or they're like, I have a shot to make semifinals. The other half, the bottom 2,500 of those from 2,501 to 5,000 of that group didn't register for quarterfinals. They maybe took a stab at a workout as they got announced, but they didn't register because they're like, I'm not going to spend my $50 to get time capped 5 times, you know, and I'm not going to semifinals. I'm not, so like, what's the point? So you're basically getting like half is my assumption, based on placings and where you see people like how many people registered. I believe the last year that I did quarterfinals, which was 2022, I believe there was somewhere like between 24 and 2,600 people that were actually competing in quarterfinals.
All right. So to give you some numbers to work with here, last year,
hit me. Yep.
There were at least 5,750 athletes registered to compete in quarterfinals.
Registered.
So yeah, like on the leaderboard for quarterfinals.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So either they got 100%, like fucking nailed it, like 100% of people registered. What was the total number of athletes in North America for like male, female athletes? Because that, like, by that math, that then there's like 50,000.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking only at the women.
Oh, well,
so it's still 5,000 athletes who were female. And then there are
right. So I'm just taking like one pool, like male, female, whatever. Like I'm just looking at one pool of people.
Yep.
So in theory, if we had 5,000 people, and again, I'm just going to make the math easy for people.
There were 13,750 individuals registered for quarterfinals last year.
For North America, or for like for the whole kit and caboodle?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Okay. So you have 13,000 people registered worldwide for quarterfinals.
Yep.
And we've just said that they 2.5x'd that pool.
Yeah. So if it's
take that number times about 2.5.
34,375.
Times that by $50.
Times $50 a pop, $1.718 million.
So $1.8 million.
Yeah.
I wonder why they increased the athlete pool.
Well, so to add.
Go ahead. Before my rage kicks in.
So I love this. So let's go back. Let's look at the dates. He just got the hat off now. Fucking A.
Well, because the space heater's fucking putting in some work right now.
Good man. I love it. All right. So if you remember, the Open finishes on the 18th of March.
Sure.
Okay.
For this coming year.
For this coming year, the 2024 season.
Yes.
The individual and age group quarterfinals are the 17th. They're 30 days later. So 30 days after the Open, they're going to now take the top 37,000 humans worldwide, right?
Yep.
And they're going to, pardon me, and they're going to put them through another online qualifier. Here's the kicker, right?
The teams go first. So
teams go in April, at the beginning of April.
Right. So like the teams, so the teams have less of a turnaround. Whatever else.
It's like 3 weeks. Teams have like a 3-week turnaround, and then they do their quarterfinal. Dual qualified athletes will only pay one registration fee and complete one set of workouts. So this is an individual and age group qualifier, right?
Sure. Yep.
Quarterfinals will allow for more time to complete the workouts than in previous years. So it's probably going to be like a bonus day or something like that.
Yeah, so you get 5 days instead of 4. It'll be like the workouts are released Wednesday, due Sunday or something like that.
Yeah. Only athletes hoping to advance from quarterfinals to semis will be required to submit a video of their performance using correct floor plan as specified by CrossFit, right?
Yep.
So
that part doesn't annoy me as much, if I'm going to be honest, because the 2 years that I did quarterfinals, I didn't take any video because I knew like I'm not in contention for semifinals. But I had like a registered judge like doing the judging. So like every time we did semifinals and like quarterfinals, and like the crew gets together at the gym to throw down, like we had judges doing like, treating it as an open workout as you would.
Yeah.
But rather than try and like set up 7 cameras or see how we can like camera angle the fuck out of 5 people trying to go, we were like, none of us are, in contention for semifinals at the moment. So like, let's just throw down, like have the judges so we can like go in 2 heats and like cheer people on the whole thing.
Yes.
Let's do that. So like, we didn't take video the 2 years that I did quarterfinals. We just threw down as like an extension of the open, essentially.
Right.
So that part I'm not as fussed about, because in reality, like if you're doing quarterfinals, like if you're doing it properly, like we followed the floor plans, we set everything up the way it was supposed to be set up. Like we treated it like we just didn't take a video. And if people are doing that, then great.
So what I
go ahead.
So like there was a rule where you could use a registered judge, or you could video yourself for the open.
Right.
Right. And that was part of the validation mechanism to make sure like, oh, you should go to quarterfinals, right? Because it was 10%.
Right.
Well, now I have 2.5 times as many jabronis who are saying, or rather, let's put this, I have 15% more humans worldwide who are saying to themselves, this is my year. This is the year that I get to go to quarterfinals. And so I have to do X, Y, or Z in order to make it, Never mind what happens after. Like, and like, well, I don't have to start my rant right now. So they're going to take 1.7. They're going to drive people away from intensity and toward volume. I've got 17% more people.
So
go ahead.
Well, so there's 2 things. So because to latch onto that, like you're going to have people that, and this is not to be mean, but I'm just going to be blunt, that have no business adding on extra volume to their training, to their fitness, their whatever, that have no business doing so, are going to be like, oh, well, like last year I was in the 21st percentile. Let's hop on that mayhem train, 4 hours of training. Let's fucking go.
Right.
And so like and again, I'm making fun of mayhem because they're like known for some more volume, but that goes for any competitor program. They're 100%. All competitor programs right now, again, are geared towards semifinals athletes and beyond. But all of them are pretty much like, you have a requisite of like minimum 2 hours a day of training. Minimum, like, and I kind of agree. Like if you want to be like, hey, I'm going to be knocking on the door of semifinals or going to semifinals. 2 hours per day is the barrier to entry. Like that's required for you to play. At least where the sport is now. But you can compete at a really, really high level in quarterfinals and locally and all that fun stuff with just the 1 hour a day, making sure
absurdly high level.
Absurdly high level.
Yes.
And so it's going to drive more people towards I need to do more because this is the year I'm going to quarterfinals. I'm going to be asked to do fucking 210 GHG sit-ups and pistols in that first, that workout fucked me up. But it's like, I'm going to be asked to do that. I better start like doing that.
Now's the time for me to figure out pistols.
Let's get some. And so
never worried about it before.
It's going to do one of 2 things. Is either going to take people that have no business doing the extra training and drive them on towards the volume side versus the intensity side because they think that's what they need to do. Or vice versa, someone that's like in the top 5% that has like worked their ass off to get there is like, what the fuck, man? Now like everyone and their fucking mom gets to go to quarterfinals. They're like, what am I working so hard for? Like, and if we thought that it was frustrating, like watching games athletes, because this was something that I'd had conversations with other competitors. They're like, it's kind of frustrating watching, and I'm just going to throw an athlete out there, like watching Patrick Vellner. Like kind of
Vellner was in my head too.
Like, just like waltz through the open, like give like a quarter of a try for quarterfinals and then just like show up and ball out at semifinals. And they're like, that kind of sucks. Like quarterfinals, it wasn't especially like the first year quarterfinals was when they asked the most of people. They were like,
Yeah.
that first year, 2021 quarterfinals, I was like, this is fucking regionals. Like,
Yeah.
that's what the workouts felt like.
Yeah.
I left that weekend broken. It
Mm-hmm.
was so hard, and the time caps were so aggressive where you were like, the 120 wall ball, 120 calorie row, like I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the time cap for that was like 12 minutes. And it's like 6 minutes is a really good Karen time. It's like, holy fuck, like it was aggressive. It
Yeah.
asked the most. And
Oh,
then
so great.
since then, it's gotten like progressively asking a little bit less, to the
Mm-hmm.
point where like this blew my mind how we had athletes at semifinals last year that couldn't do, and this is going to sound really mean, but again, I'm going to be blunt, couldn't do a fucking muscle up. They couldn't get one rep of the
Yeah.
complex on the ring complex thing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I get it. You're wearing a ruck. However, I'm nowhere near a semifinals caliber athlete, and I can do multiple reps of
Mm-hmm.
ring muscle ups with a vest.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you get here if you can't do these things?
Yeah.
And part of it, I think, is because of like, and again, I think this is going to happen again as they broaden the pool of athletes. Not
Mm-hmm.
only is it going to drive people more towards, let's do more volume, train as a competitor, whatever, but they're also going to have to, it just in my head from like a business standpoint, I'm like, listen, if I want the highest percentage of those 25% to register,
Mm-hmm.
then I need the workouts to be appropriate and applicable to all 25%,
Yes.
which means doing high volume of ring muscle ups, doing high volume of GHD sit ups, of
Yeah.
pistols, of like doing the snatches at 185, or, maybe
Yeah.
it could be heavier, and not that there haven't been hard workouts in quarterfinals the past couple of years, because I've seen all the events, not that they're not hard,
Yeah.
but they're not like, there's not that like, okay, it's real now. It just
Yeah.
felt like, okay, the quarterfinals the past 2 years felt like the last 2 weeks of the Open used to be, where it's like, okay, we've had the fun, now it's real.
Yeah.
The past 2 years of quarterfinals, again, 22 and 23, just looking at the events, again, not that some of the workouts weren't hard, because there was like cleans at 275 or
Mm-hmm.
185 in, this past year.
Yeah.
Not that that's not hard, but it's like you had the one hard event
Yeah.
versus like all five of them being like a kick in the teeth of like, this is the deal, and like, just this is the standard.
Yes.
So I can only imagine that, like, following the trajectory of
Mm-hmm.
where kind of like the difficulty, or like how much you're asking of the athletes, has gone,
Mm-hmm.
that it's only going to decrease further to try and entice more people to sign up. Because if I'm looking at, and again, I was looking at kind of like the trend of athletes prior, like if I was in the top 5,000 to like, register, and only the top 2,500 were doing it, is because they're like, I can do all the movements and I can have a go.
Yeah.
If I'm like, I can't do ring muscle ups, it's the same people that get pissed off in the Open, where they're like, oh,
Yeah.
muscle ups came up, like, oh, this workout's stupid. It's like, it's not stupid, it's just you can't do that movement yet.
Yeah.
And I
There's a
understand your
hole in your fitness.
frustration. It's like, I understand your frustration. However, it doesn't mean the workout is stupid. But
Right.
it's like, that person
Mm-hmm.
isn't going to register for quarterfinals because they're like, well, it's just going to be all the muscle ups and rope climbs and shit.
They're
So
absolutely
like,
going to register for quarterfinals.
well, but I'm thinking like, if I'm CrossFit, and I
Yeah.
could 100% be wrong, and I really hope I'm wrong, but if I'm CrossFit and I'm like, I want all 25% of those athletes to register,
Uh-huh.
I want to give them something to register for. So like, if it is still 5 events, 3 to 4 out of those 5 are going to be more accessible or doable or whatever for like a broader range of fitness, which then just reduces the legitimacy of the test. Why are you shaking your head at me?
I don't think they're
This
going
is
to do
just
that.
my theory. I'm saying I hope I'm wrong,
I think you're going to
but
be
I
wrong.
could just, huh? Okay. I hope I am wrong. I hope that in, I don't know what fucking month are we in, November, that like, I hope that
Apparently.
I don't know where we are. Hopefully, like when we, as long as we haven't been canceled up until that point, hopefully by like the end of April, when
Yep.
we're like, all right, let's do a quarterfinals review, I can be like, I was wrong. Like, they turned the table, they brought the intensity, the demand, the everything back into it, and it was a legitimate competition and a legitimate step. Because I'm just seeing, like, again, last year in quarterfinals, semifinals, you have athletes that can't do the muscle up with the ruck. The year prior in 2022, this absolutely sent me. I was watching the team competition, and there were like some athletes on semifinals of teams that couldn't handstand walk. And I was like, excuse the fuck out of me. How did you get here?
Yeah.
But it's because during quarterfinals, like, it was not that it wasn't hard, but it was more of a test of like and I'm going to say basic, but like, if you're a competitor, like shooting for semifinals, like handstand push-ups aren't hard.
Yeah.
So like they're doing handstand push-ups, but they're not testing handstand walking. They're not testing, high volume of this or, whatever to like expose people. It's like manageable volumes, like the first year of quarterfinals, again, there were 210 GHD sit-ups in that first, or in that rope climb pistol GHD event.
Yeah.
That's absurdly high volume of GHDs. The first set was a set of 60. Like, if you can't rip out big sets of GHD sit, get some. And, then from there, it's like, okay, then like 2 years later, it's like, okay, they're doing GHD sit-ups, but like in sets of 15.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not the same thing.
No.
Again, not that that's not hard, but that's not the same thing. And
no,
so
it's 100% not the same thing.
So I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I'm just, from a business standpoint, I'm thinking, for me, if I'm trying to get everyone to register, because there are going to be people who are like, this is the year, like I've been doing CrossFit for 3 years and I haven't made quarterfinals. And like, now's my chance to make it. Like I was either on the bubble or like, whatever, like now's my chance to do it. They're going to register.
So this is where my lack of fitness shows my ignorance. Because I ain't ever made it to quarterfinals. Yeah. I have no quarterfinals aspirations, so I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Before you register for quarterfinals, do you know the workouts?
So yes, you can. So because they release, if I remember correctly, they released all the workouts, like all 5 events and the floor plans, on the Thursday at like the noon or the 3 p.m. or whatever time zone it broke down to be. So so you have all 5 events. I can see it, and the floor plans were released on that Thursday.
Yeah.
You just had specific time windows to finish like certain. Yes. Yeah. So like you could look at it. I think.
Hang on.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, they've already registered at that point for quarterfinals. They've already paid the $50.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. CrossFit.
Oh, so are you asking, like, do you have to have registered before they've announced the thing
to do quarterfinals? Yes.
Yeah. Is it not similar to the Open, where like you can have the events get posted and then you just have to register before the closure of the first course submission window?
I'm sure you can, but like there's going to be a huge contingent who just register automatically.
Oh yeah, they get their invite and they go, woo!
Yeah, exactly. So like, so if CrossFit takes,
for those, it doesn't matter.
Well, so CrossFit takes 15%. It's 20,000 people is what it comes down to. It's 20,000 people. Let's assume 20,000 people make it.
Yep.
Compared to last year's numbers. If those 20,000 people, if all of them sign up, that's $1 million for CrossFit, and it costs them nothing to provide it, right? It's like provision.
That's not counting the teams. Like we're just doing math on revenue on individuals right now. That doesn't count the teams. That doesn't count the age groups.
Well, so that's what I mean is like, because the teams in the age groups, those percentages of people who are making it to quarterfinals don't change, right?
Right.
This is $1 million extra in CrossFit's pocket, and it costs them $0 to get it.
Yeah.
So it's 100% profit.
Yeah. Right? And guess what? Like, we just had the fitness world rocked a little bit when they announced that CrossFit wasn't going to host all these divisions for the games. So they've saved how many millions of dollars on like production and staffing and running and hosting the event for all those divisions.
Chunk of change.
Oh, like they pulled a sneaky. They just we just chopped expenses and then found a not even a sneaky way to like, but just like a very low barrier to entry way to like boost revenue.
Well, they need to. in
Well,
a bad as a business. Like they need to.
No, I'm aware that they need to.
Sure.
I'm wondering if at what, because the whole point of like, not the whole point, but like most private equity things, like they see a business, they're like, let's
Uh-huh.
buy that business.
Uh-huh.
They buy that business, they're like,
Uh-huh.
okay, let's essentially increase the profit margin by either bringing in more revenue, cutting costs, or both. Once they make the
Okay.
company more profitable, you sell it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, at what point of reducing costs and bringing more revenue, at what point does the current private equity firm that owns CrossFit
Uh-huh.
sell CrossFit?
Well, for that, we turn to Jay DeCoons, who is the new affiliate director, whatever, for CrossFit. Jay DeCoons of Bar fame, who set them up to be
Woo!
acquired for multiple millions. I mean, like that's how he made his money.
Didn't they go bankrupt?
Bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, but after they got bought out.
So he basically like he was like, here, go forth, be awesome. They got sold, and then they went, okay.
Yeah, so
Anyways,
he was part of the team that brokered the deal essentially. Like they
yeah,
brought him, and that Gary Gaines was the same way. Gary Gaines was from Orange Theory, and like
yeah,
so, and then if you so first, right? There's a lot of
yeah.
moving pieces here, right? So
There's a lot. There's a lot here.
CrossFit's looking to make more money.
Open up
Right?
your notebook, folks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for real. CrossFit's looking to make more money. They've got a lot of money going out the door, right?
yeah.
And as a business, CrossFit has never been super marketable or pardon me, super profitable because like Greg's mission was the people and the message and the methodology. And so like you pay $3,000 or whatever, $500 if you got into it really early on, and you got the right to use the name CrossFit and go be a good business, and good luck to you, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, when Greg was in charge, they could get away with something like that. When Greg's not in charge, private equity firm controls it. They want an ROI on their money. After they had to buy out Greg, right?
Yep.
So big chunk of change right there.
Big chunk.
Then they acquired Ham Plan, right?
Yep. Another big chunk
of
of change.
Yep. And they haven't increased costs. There, you got a lot of affiliate owners, and I see it a lot. Affiliate owners being like, "What is my $3,000 for my affiliate fee? Get me, right?" And they bought Ham and they rebranded it as Cap, and they tried to sell it, and that was it didn't go over very well, and so now it's just packaged in. And so now what they're trying to do is they're trying to massage things, and they're trying to make us be like, look at all the things that we do for you. We highlight the fact that on the map you've got level 2s, level 3s, and level 4s in your gym. We provide you the affiliate playbook and Cap programming carte blanche, for free.
Yeah, and all the resources that come with that, and
all the
videos,
resources,
lesson plans, and all
there's
that.
A whole
shit.
bunch of stuff that comes with that.
Yeah, whole bunch of educational stuff.
And then you get Jay DeCoons, who comes in. Now, the rumor is that Jay DeCoons was not hired. He was placed by the board. And so Don Fall signed off on it, but Don Fall didn't hire this guy, which means the private equity group that controls CrossFit is like, Jay, come do this, right? Do for us what you did for Bar or whoever. And so that was essentially the reason why they had the big snafu where he's on camera.
He's on camera saying CrossFit's dangerous and don't ever go to an affiliate, but this is your director of affiliates.
Oh, I know it. Anyway, so
it hurt me.
Yeah,
that doesn't even have a level 1.
That was a misstep, and it's because the people who made the decision don't do CrossFit, and
they don't give a fuck. Yeah,
it is what it is. And so, coming out of that, then we got Seth from Jump Ship, who hops on Instagram today. He's like, "Hey, has anyone else seen this? I don't know why I'm playing with this piece of my monitor. I fidget with shit. I should gotta stop doing that." So Seth from Jump Ship hops on and he's like, "Hey, I got this email from this survey group. Hey, do you do this? Do you do that? Blah, blah, blah." And he says, according to him, if you say I own a business and I do CrossFit, the questions get incredibly specific. And that it's, according to him, almost guaranteed that CrossFit wrote this survey or at least this
Mm-hmm.
section of this survey. And it's
Mm-hmm.
asking essentially, how much would you be willing to pay
Yeah.
to, stay an affiliate, and like for what services and stuff like that. And if you're reading between the lines, they're testing out a franchise concept.
Mm.
And it won't be just affiliates. There will be approved CrossFit gyms or something like that. And in exchange for a greater amount of, because you can't charge them $3,000 and continue to give people more resources. And like they're doing affiliate summits, they're paying out the nose for this. Like
Yeah.
it's like a 500, 1000% increase in expenditure for stuff like that. Like that costs money, and you can't provide the people and time and resources to these affiliates to provide these services for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've got to generate more revenue, and no one's no more people are doing the level one. Like, and that was $1,000 a pop, and that's great. But like, and we've talked about it. Like, great, you've got your level one, but that doesn't translate into knowing how to coach or knowing how to make more money.
Right.
And so then where they got to turn is they got to turn to the affiliates, and it's okay. Like, what does a franchise model look like? You know.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be something.
I did hear something interesting from a colleague of mine today, and they were like, "Well, baseball, 40% of the teams in baseball go to the playoffs, right?
Yep.
And this is only
Mm-hmm.
25% of the people going to the next level,
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Yeah, but in baseball, everybody is already a professional,
Right.
so it's 40% of the elites
Yeah.
go on to the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And before you get there, there's AAA and double A ball leagues, and you probably played in college or something like that. There's years and years and years of work that goes into something like that. I don't know another professional sport where the distance between the amateur and the expert is so short.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like if they opened up access to the NFL Combine to like I don't know anything about the Combine. Can anyone just sign up for the Combine?
I don't know. That's a great question.
This is a great
I
question.
I
Let's
have
find this
no
out.
idea. But I get what you're saying. With like, yeah, because I mean, if like it would depend, like what stage of the CrossFit season do we consider quote unquote playoffs? That'd be like semifinals.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's like less than 1% of people
Wow,
that
this is
go.
hilarious.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who is eligible for the NFL Combine? All college seniors eligible for the Combine immediately following the final year of college. All
Sure.
underclassmen who declare for the NFL draft and satisfy NCAA and NFL requirements. Additionally, an athlete who is not playing collegiate football may qualify under a special circumstance. In the year it correlates to the natural draft year he had been playing college football. It's like only college football. Really? Let me look at
I
this
guess.
Combine.
I guess.
Wow.
I don't know. I should
Wow.
sign
This
up.
is Combine. FAC. This is amazing. Oh. Oh, you can attend or be opportunity for prospect autographs.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
you can like get tickets to go and like
Oh yeah,
watch
for
the
sure.
combine. Yeah, 1,000% you can. But I don't think that like I can just sign up and be
No.
like, let me
Apparently
go throw a
it's
football.
limited to um
Collegiate players
collegiate players. All right,
that
so
have
like
declared for the draft.
right, and like you don't get to just walk onto a collegiate team. You've got to
You
be good
knew.
enough to do that, right? And most
Yep.
like some schools, you're at an elite level when you go to D1 teams. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so nowhere else. Let's use the combine as an example, right?
Sure.
You can't just sign up for the NFL. It's like when you register for the Open, you're signing up for the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
There's a direct path. You just
Yeah.
have to
It's the
not
CrossFit
fuck it up.
Games Open. Yeah. It's the
Exactly.
CrossFit Games Open.
Right. So
Yeah.
you can't sign up for the NFL playoffs, right?
Right.
And
Right.
like hope you don't fuck it up and make it. So I love the Open. I love that we all do the same thing. It is the
Yeah.
single largest human sporting event in the world. I love that.
Yeah.
But,
But
but, I don't think there's enough distance between amateurs and professionals yet. And that's a beautiful thing and a terrible thing at the same time. And I look at it from the perspective of a person who has to coach regular humans, right? I'm not interested in coaching professional athletes. And so I don't want to coach competitors. I'm here to change people's lives. I'm here for the provision of a life-saving service. And so when you, as the organization, bless and ordain 15% more people to go do competitive CrossFit, a significant percentage of whom are fit, sure, but still do not need what could potentially be the, greater volume or work that they might convince themselves that they need in order to be a quarterfinals athlete, simply so that you can make $1 million extra. That's my big contention with it.
Yeah. I mean, my content, like, now that you brought that point up, that's like a different layer of thinking it. My contention was like, I was like in the kind of like mindset that it's just going to like reduce the validity of the test and just make it so it's like
that
backfired on you. Good job. But it's like, it's just gonna, I don't know, like the whole kind of thing that frustrates me, and like, this is frustrating me as a competitor and not me as a coach, because those are like two different things. Me as a competitor is just like, what the hell? Like, the CrossFit used to be about like, hey, let's do things that are challenging. And if you want to go and get this thing, you want to make it to quarterfinals, you want to make it to semifinals, like, sweet, go get it, but you're gonna have to work for it.
Right.
It takes that part out of it. It's like, now you're going to be able to make it to quarterfinals. Just again, like, everyone and their mom can make it to quarterfinals. It kind of like takes away the prestige, the value of the hard work, all that fun stuff from like the people that have like worked super hard to get there, with like that being the goal.
Yeah. So we can look at the numbers. I mean, like, I think 15% is a big bump. I don't think it's me and my mom. Like, I don't think I'm going to go to quarterfinals. Like, I'm not going to rock up. I know. I know. I know.
We talked about, you are worthy to possess the power of Thor. I think you got it.
I appreciate you. First of all, I don't care. I do the open because I love to do the open. I might actually I might actually not qualify for the open, depending on like what my doctor does later. But like, that's neither here nor there. Because if my doctor like decides to put me on certain medications, it might disqualify me. So like, I might not, and like, it would be disingenuous of me to technically
getting all juiced to the gills, man.
It depends. It depends on what the doctor says. Like,
let's go.
But there's also that juvenile college freshman part of me that is like, yes.
Let's fucking get some. I'm so like, you're not gonna fit in any of your shirts anymore. Like, sleeves don't stand a fucking chance. If you had any pants, get rid of them. Like, I just
get rid of them.
I'm so excited.
I tell you, you know what my doctor did do? She put me on a continuous glucose monitor, and so that's been interesting and eye-opening.
I'm sure, because you get to see like how your body responds to certain foods. That's
in real time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But that's also, again, totally separate. Pop-Tarts and the wonderful, wonderful cookies my wife makes. But it's like cookie, poof, blood sugar.
Yeah. Then you see the blood sugar spike, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go do Fran real quick. Now's my time. My fucking blood sugar.
Go, buddy, go. Yeah.
It's so ready.
Well, so there's some shit happening, obviously, you know, and we could go down this rabbit hole a lot. It'll be interesting to see how this shakes out, especially with DeCoons in place. Like, I get to go to the South Central Affiliate Summit. I'm going to fly to Dallas tomorrow, and he's going to be there, and he's going to speak. And so
you're going to mess with him? Be like, just from the back, it's just like, boo, get your level 1.
Go do bar. Um, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do that. First of all, like I'm not anybody in the space to be able to do something like that. Like
Oh,
I know
shut
some
up.
people who are rip shit about his existence, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna let them if they want to go toe to toe. Like cool, you get to
Like
do that.
there's some people that like they just want to square up. They're ready to fight.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
are you there like just as Sam, or are you there for Fit Affiliate?
I'm going for Fit Affiliate. So Fit Affiliate
Beautiful.
is attending the summits, and
So
we're
you
getting
should
to.
definitely, as a professional representing Fit Affiliate, just square up, have a fucking go. Just
So
who's the
Jay,
dude in the Fit Affiliate shirt? Like,
so Jay, what's your plan?
go
How are you
to
gonna fuck this
affiliate
up?
once. Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't even go here.
Oh my god. Oh, I really want to do that now.
Who's this jabroni in a fucking Fit Affiliate shirt? It's like how to lose
Oh,
your job 101. Just
God. My boss actually,
it'd be funny though.
my boss wouldn't fire me probably. Um,
Oh, then even the more reason.
but I have people who I greatly admire who will be there, and
Yeah.
I will not. I don't want them looking down on me like that.
Okay.
So
Fair
there's
enough.
that. Although I'm in, it'll be interesting to see if Denise grabbed me for the overhead squat lecture.
Mm,
Yeah, just be
probably. Probably.
there. I'd say it's even odds at this point where she's like, Sam, get a PVC pipe,
Yeah.
and like I got to stand in front of 200 people and do overhead squats.
Better warm up them ankles, boy.
I'm not worried about the ankles. I'm worried about the shoulders. Is that external
Ah.
rotation, scapular elevation? Yeah,
Not
that'd
just
be
if you
fun.
just jam your knees forward far enough, your torso stays vertical. You're good.
I'll ask her. Do you want me to do a train wreck and so you could fix it out, or what do you want here?
Like I can demonstrate a train wreck really well.
What's fun, and like, and of course, from the coaching standpoint, like I could do a really good one. She would still find things to pick on it. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
yeah. So it's probably more impressive if I try to do it as best as I can, and then she's still like, yeah, yeah, but this though over here, you need to fix this.
Yeah, but this, how about you stop being a sack of shit? And you're like, well, all right, fair enough.
Fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Yeah,
Anyway, we've
much.
obviously divested from anything worthwhile
Uh,
in terms of discussion, so we're gonna call it for today. But Kevin, as always, thank you so much. I appreciate you, sir. And if anybody is listening to this and you have questions, comments, please tag them into Spotify
yeah,
or in the comments on YouTube.
yeah. If you have your, shoot us a message on in Instagram. I want
Mm-hmm.
all the smoke because I don't like this one bit. I posted on my thing. Because there's so much else. Like this could be a whole nother topic about like just the fact that like supposedly, according to a couple internet sources, so I have not fact checked this myself.
Okay.
Um, but like according to some other internet sources, we're like having a go because CrossFit has not paid their athletes their payouts from the games this past year yet.
There's
Um,
that.
and they're already making plans for like, here's how we're going to charge more money. And it's like,
Maybe it's how they're going to get out of debt.
maybe, I don't know, maybe like, again, this could be also be a hot take, but like maybe choose a title sponsor that can hang.
Oh.
Again, I want all the smoke. I'm fucking here for it.
I want
Um,
I want 2016 to come back. I want Greg and I want Reebok.
oh, dude, they're like, what a time to be alive. But also
Yeah.
like before Greg fucked up the entire competition season, it was like, let's try it 7 different ways in 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I remember like again, just listening to like the Misfit podcast where they're trying to like plan out their competitive season. They're like, we don't know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
So like we can't plan out like our training cycles for our
Yep.
athletes because we're like, we don't know when the open starts or like what the stages are or like,
No,
fun stuff like that.
give me young Matt Fraser and my Nano 8s, and I'm a happy man.
Give me Matt Fraser like with the chest hair and like not all fully tatted out yet. Like,
Yeah. Baby
just
Matt
full
Fraser.
scraggly beard. Yeah, just baby Matt
Baby
with like
Matt.
his Reebok lifters and his red line shorts. And
Yes. Yes.
what a time to be
Bring back the
alive.
red
But
lines.
Brick, because yeah. Anyways, because like that just also didn't sit with me this competitive season where like in semifinals, like your title sponsor couldn't pull off like having vendor tents at your semifinals.
Oof.
It's like pick a title sponsor that can hang. Sorry. And and whatever that title sponsor is, and they feels right because like Nike is now making fitness equipment and like literally ripping off Rogue. Dan Bailey put out a spec thing. You haven't seen this?
No.
So Nike is making like dumbbells and barbells and all the fitness shit, rig, all this stuff, and their spec sheet. If I wonder if Dan posted it because I saw this on Dan Bailey's thing. I went to look and I was like, oh my fucking god! Like like when you scroll, you go to buy a Rogue barbell and it has like here's like the diagram of the bar and here's where the neural marks are and here's like the PSI and like it has like the whole spec sheet.
Yeah,
that spec sheet was fully like copy pasted over onto Nike's thing, and they just like changed the branding and they changed it from 13-point font to 12-point font or some shit because I'm like it's the exact same.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, man. So fully ripping off Rogue on that. Wow. Not to start a legal thing, but again, I'm just some idiot on the internet. But you're not it's like if Nike is like, I mean, they've got all the money in the world. And so if they're like, hey, we want to rock up and be title sponsors, I'm pretty sure like Greg would probably dig his own grave, place himself in it just so he could turn over.
Yeah.
If Nike got signed as the title sponsor. But like they'd pull some shit off, man. And they would like, they'd make sure people were paid to have all the money in the fucking world. Is there a shoe or apparel brand that's bigger than Nike in the world? Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think so.
According to 2023, Nike is considered the most valuable apparel brand in the world, with a valuation of $31.3 billion with a B dollars.
Oh, fantastic! Noble is valued at $32.
Yeah, and that's $5 billion more dollars than Louis Vuitton.
Okay. So that's like, so Nike is more valuable than like a luxury apparel brand.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It's really not.
I mean, it's not just because they check more boxes of more things. They have like a more broad like audience, I guess, or like range of customers, but I don't know. We could talk a whole bunch about like all this competitive stuff. There's a whole bunch in here with all this fun stuff.
There's a lot. Well, we probably will as we rock up to the Open. We'll probably end up talking more about this stuff.
We got to do another Open predictions episode because that was fun last time. We got to do another Open predictions episode.
Okay.
And that can we'll plan that out for like because Open registration starts in January, so maybe like in January we'd like here's what we think is going to happen for the Open. All the fun stuff.
I vote yes. All right, let's plan on that. If you were playing along at home, thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe and all those fun things. And otherwise, we will catch you on the flip side, everybody. Take care.
Yeah.